You are welcome to our channel, Biz Data Consult, BDC. Biz Data Consult is a platform where we seek to deliver strategic skills and insights to business owners and managers, employees, accountants, and finance leaders, HR personnel, data analysts, students, and data transformation, actionable analysis, and visual data storytelling to guide and drive business decisions. We specialize in Excel, BI applications, accounting systems, softwares, Microsoft Office, and AI tools to help our target audience achieve superior productivity and efficiencies in their businesses, workplace, and choosing careers. The instructor, Mr. Ilori Abayomi, is a seasoned chartered accountant with over 15 years of cross-industry experience spanning manufacturing, extractive, fintech, and not-for-profit organization. He's a self-driven data analyst and enthusiast who is passionate in leveraging his knowledge and experience about helping his target audience in mining data for workplace productivity and business decision making. In this tutorial, we are introducing beginners to Excel with a view to giving you a comprehensive and practical guide. We assume you are completely new to Excel. You are assuming a new role in your workplace for the first time, and Excel will be very critical to your success in your new position. This tutorial will help you to start using and navigating Excel on your own with minimal or no supervision from anyone. You will be able to start and stand on your own and use Excel to achieve daily office routine on data works and reporting. This will make you stand out, more confident, independent, and able to work with minimal supervision. In this introduction class, we'll be looking at introduction to Excel, the uses of Excel, Excel interface, navigating Excel, formatting in Excel, common Excel functions and features, Excel table and Excel table rules and essentials. We give you tips and shortcuts that will be very useful for beginners that when you master, you're able to work very well in Excel. And we will refer you to other videos on this channel that will be of help to you. You are welcome back to Biz Data Consult. In this series of videos, we are going to be teaching beginners the basics for Excel, the basics of Excel. As I said before, for you to be able to stand alone and work with minimal supervision. This first video will focus on what is Excel, the uses of Excel, and how to get yourself familiar with the interfaces of Excel. What is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet application for data input, processing, transformation, storage, and visualization. It is a tool to turn raw data into processed information for actionable insight and decision making. Excel is a powerful tool that can perform calculations from simple addition to very complex calculations such as financial, statistical, and engineering analysis. It is the most widely used spreadsheet for calculation. Excel helps you to turn boring, unstructured data in numbers and text into meaningful visuals, summaries like charts and graphs, which make data easy to understand and interpret for everyone. Common uses of Excel. Excel is commonly used in performing calculations and analysis. This is the primary design for which Excel is used. It is primarily designed to perform calculations and analysis using functions and formulas. Excel is used for creating charts and graphs to visualize data. For instance, maybe you have a sale data or a survey data or just a list of items like a checklist. You can use Excel to analyze the data, and plot graphs that shows you behaviors, trends, and will help you to make data-driven decisions. Data organization and management. Excel help to keep data information organized, such as contact lists, inventory items, to-do lists, and whatever you want to keep in an organized form. Project management. Excel can create simple schedules, tracking tasks, setting deadlines, and monitoring the progress of a project can be done very well in Excel. Excel as a financial tool. Excel can be used to create budgets and financial tracking, creating personal and business budgets, tracking monthly expenses and income, forecasting future cash flow income and outcome, even creating ledgers and financial statements like balance sheet, inventory, profit and loss account, and all of that can be done in Excel. Excel has over 500 functions and formula, and it is the most widely used spreadsheet in the world today. Here is a blank Excel page. This is what you see when you open an Excel application. I'm actually using Microsoft 365, which is the latest version of Microsoft Office Suite, which we have Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Notepad rather, and some other applications. But you are using Excel in this case. So when you first open Excel, you will see this interface. Depending on the versions of Excel you are using, older versions, for instance, when you first open and you come to this sheet, could be as much as 3 sheets. This is what we call sheet. It's like a page in a book. So you have this sheet, and you can use this plus sign to, if you double click on this now, it will give you another sheet. Can you see? Say sheet 2, and you can rename it. For instance, I can do this and say this is ATS and press enter. All right, you see I've renamed that sheet. So you can also go to file here and configure in the settings options how many sheets do you want it to open at a time. We are not going to look to that now because that's not so important, but I think I could see something like that. Okay, let me go to options again. Let's see. You see, so you look at this place. You say include this many sheets. For instance, let me put 3, and let's see what will happen now. So if I close this sheet and reopen it, it will give me sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 as default. But preferably as it is, I want to put it on sheet 1 so that I can have full control over it. So I go back to this backstage. We call this place backstage options, and then you come back here, you change back to 1. Now, the first thing to note in Excel, the most important thing in Excel is the ribbon. This is what we call the ribbon. The ribbon is the command centers of Excel. The whole of this that you are seeing is what we call the ribbon. The whole of this. If I come here, for instance, I think I should be able to, let me collapse it. The ribbon is consists of tabs and groups. These are called tabs. So what I did the other time, if I want to fully represent the ribbon, I'll come back here, come over to this home tab. This is home tab, insert tab, drawing tab, and as much tabs as you have. Some of what you are seeing here, like what you all normally see in a new Excel sheet, will be home tab, insert, draw, page layout, formula, data review, and view. These other ones you are seeing here, I customize it myself. So you may not see this when you open your own tab. When we teach more advanced section of Excel, will teach you how to get this. These are hardings. Those are things that normally don't come with the home page, but you can add them to. They are available whether online, and you can add them to your Excel as add-ons. So I'll go back to home ribbon, home tab here. Then when you come to this place, you see it will give you the options of how to control the ribbon. I can show you as I'm showing now. I say show tabs only. If I want to show, if I'm doing a work that's it requires a lot of space, I could use this option. But for a beginner, it is better to use this always show ribbon so that everything will be shown. You can see the formula bar has also been shown. This is what we call the formula bar section. Each tab on the ribbons are grouped into different groups like I said. For instance, the home tab has different groups like the clipboard group, the font group, the number group, the style group, the sales group, editing groups, and so on and so forth. So whatever you want to do is available. Whatever command you want to give the Excel to do whatever you want to do is available on the tabs, and they are grouped for ease of access. For instance, anything you want to do with formatting text, that is changing the face of what to type here of your data, whether you want to bold, you want to italize, you want to underline, or even more options. So, or you want to add borders, different forms of borders, for instance, here, and line colors and all of that, just as what you are familiar with in Microsoft Word. So, another thing you can see is that you see you can change font size. This first thing, let's talk about this. The Excel data are input into Excel in what we call cells. So everything in Excel, in an Excel sheet, consists of a number of cells which are grouped into rows. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, like that, and columns. This is column A, B, C, D. You can see it like that. So a cell is when you enter data in Excel, and a cell has a cell address. The cell address is what you use to describe the position of that cell in an Excel sheet. For instance, if I place my cursor here, this is showing that I am on cell A1. That is cell with column A, row 1. If I place my cursor here, for instance, then I am on row, I am on cell J11. You can see there is an highlight on 11 here, and there is an highlight on J here. And you can come to this place. This is called the name box. You see, the name box, it will tell you the address of that cell. I'm using Microsoft Excel 365 for the purpose of making what we are teaching here to be more visible than this green highlight. Let me activate this new function in Microsoft 365, Excel 365. If I go to view here, I come to this place to say focus cells. So whatever I put, whatever where my cursor is in a cell, it will highlight both the row and the column where that cell is. So let's say focus cell. So you see now the color that I want to use is focus color. That's the color I'm using right now. I can change it to any color I like. For instance, if I change it to this, for instance, you see it changed to that. But I think I'm okay with what I had before. Let's just change this on something that's not too colored. Maybe I'm okay with this. Okay. So for instance, so we were saying this is, for instance, this is cell F10, column 10, column F, row 10. If I move my cursor again, you see that focus cell, you see, it helps us to highlight where we actually are on the sheet. This is the sheet I've told you. So this is cell J5, which is column J, row 5. Another thing I want us to, I go back to home tab now. Another thing I want us to see is that these groups, each of these groups, you have this tiny arrow. You see, it gives you is giving you some tips on what to do. Customize your text to give it the exact look you want. So whatever you type into the cell can be customized. That's what we call formatting, into the way you want it to look. The way a data look in the Excel is what we call formatting. So, but these are, for instance, under font formatting, these are the most basic commonly used. It doesn't mean that these are the only formatting that is available to fonts. If you see alignment, you see this sign again. So this one, you can see it under number here. So this pointing arrow, you can use it to expand by double clicking it, expand that group. When you double click it, you wait and see. Computer, you see now. So it gives you option. I give this font example. This is font. Everything you can see, it highlight font here. So everything you want to do with formatting font, like you want to font type, you want font strike through effects and all of that. You want font style, like bold, italics, regular. You want font size, the color you can change. So some of them have been made available as shortcut here, but the detail of it and more can be gotten here. So if you want to move to alignment, for instance, if you just come here, you move to alignment. Or if I click here, it will bring in this, it will bring this dialog box, this format cells dialog box, and it take me to this tab called alignment. And anything I want to do with alignment, I can do it here. This center across selection different from justify, merge, and justify. This justify center across selection. I'm going to teach you this center across selection as we go. It's very important in formatting your text. Okay, so if I want more on fonts, okay, I've shown that. If I want more on numbers, okay, so this number, it shows me some things I can do with numbers. I can do percentage, I can do 2 decimal points, I can do decimal point, more decimal point, and all of that. I can do general if I click here, because I know. So under this general, these things that if I click down here, there are options I will see. I can see them here as well. So if it's number I want to work on, it will give me options to format my numbers. If it's currency I want, if it's accounting format I want, if time that I want to format, percentage, fraction, and all of that. Okay, scientific notification. So all those things can be shown here. So when you want to do something and in a particular group and you don't have that, you know that what you want to do, for instance, is you want to edit, but the function you want to use to edit in all these commands are not there. You will simply just double click on the arrow of that group and then it will give you what you want. So here, for instance, on this number group I was saying the other time, if I click here, it gives me these options of what I can do. I can do general, which is the whatever I type in the cell will not be formatted in any form. You can format as number, currency, accounting. Date can be formatted, percentage, fraction, scientific number, and if I have more, if I say more number functions, it give me back to this dialog box again. Can you see now? So sometimes there are more than one, two ways to navigating in Excel. You say whatever we have done, we have been saying all the while. Where is the data? Okay. So to enter into Excel, Excel normally take three types of data, which number, text, and dates. These are the most common data that and characters. Okay, when you say characters, something like plus, minus, asterisk, which is multiplication, comma, and some other, those are what we call characters. So Excel normally take three types of input, which is text, number is number one really, because Excel is a calculating machine. Number, text, dates, and sometimes characters or a combinations of any of these. So numbers, let me type 1, 2, 3, 4 here. For instance, I press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number. Okay, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in general. The formatting is in general. So when you look at this place is called the formula bar. Anything I type in a cell will show in this formula bar. When we go to functions and formula, we'll teach you more about this. Okay, so if I want to format it, I don't want, for instance, if I want it in 2 decimal places, I can click on it. Just common style format with 1,000 separator. It will put 1,000 separator and put it in 2 decimal places. You can see I can come here, I can increase the decimal places, decrease the decimal places, increase it 3, 4 as I want. All right. Okay. So that is number formatting. Numbers are always aligned to the right. So numbers are always aligned to the right. If I type another thing here now, you see that it normally is aligned to the right. Whereas text, like I type my name here, Yomi, normally aligned to the right. So if I type another thing, let's say Jesus here, for instance, let's say Jesus is Lord. Enter. You can see it's aligned because it's much. We will not see it. Let me use a single word and say enter. You see, it's aligned to the left, whereas number are naturally aligned to the right. But you can decide to select the number, for instance, and let's say you justify it, which means you align to the center. But numbers will not align to the left, even if you try to justify. Okay, except it is when it's not formatted. This one is formatted. Okay, this one is general. This one is not seeing this as number really, because it's general. Look at this place. It's telling you the formatting that is there is general. Whereas when you look at this, it is turned to what it say accounting format. So that is why when it's number, when it's not general, to you are looking this as a number. Excel is not looking it whether as a number or as text. It doesn't know what it is. All right. But this one, Excel know that this is a number and it naturally align it to the left. And if you try to justify it, it will not still align to justify, but to the left. It will not align to the right. But something that is a text, or just will just type like looks like number but it's not formatted, can align to the left, can align to the center. Can you see? Can align to you can align to anywhere because it's not recognized as number. But you can put it, just what you can do with text, even in word application, you can put it in any alignment. Okay, you can say okay, move it off, let it float, and things like that. Okay, you can indent. So that is there. Then you have dates. When you type Excel, you need to note this is going. When you type dates in Excel, for instance, let's say today is 11 11 2025 and press enter. What Excel is seeing here, to you have typed dates. Okay, because this is a smart application, Office 365, across 365. It recognizes it immediately as date. If not, older versions of Excel will not recognize this as date until you come here and format it as date. It will just recognize this as number. If you are using older versions of maybe of Excel, let's say 2020, 2016, 2019. If you type date like this, it will look like this to you. But what Excel is actually seeing, let me copy this and paste it. What Excel is actually reading is 45972. That is what is reading in the background. It doesn't recognize this really until you come here and format it. This, for instance, is general now. Now, if I come back here and reformat this to date, you will see that it gives me that back. Can you see now? Okay. So date is a bit technical. The reason for this is that if you don't format your date for Excel to recognize this, you just type. For instance, we almost type dates in this way too. You can say 11/11 2025. I press enter. It still looks like the same thing. It puts the slash by itself and recognizes that date. Older versions will not recognize it like that. Okay, until you come here and format it, right? So if you don't do that, when you are using that data, maybe to collate things based on dates, analyze things date on day, maybe week, month, year on that, it will not recognize it and it will not be able to use it to calculate correctly. So this is where formatting is very important in Excel. Very soon we'll move on to formatting in Excel. We'll be able to see what you are doing very well. I want to clear off this focus so that the color will not be disturbing us, for us to show what I need us to see very well. So there's one other thing about navigating Excel. When you come to the ribbon and you want to activate a command on the ribbon, one shortcut that you can use to get to where you are going, what command you want to use, is the Alt key. On your laptop or your desktop, when you press the Alt key, go to any tab, whether it's Start tab, Draw tab, wherever that thing is, okay, and press the Alt key. It will highlight, it brings out this. So it brings out these letters. eh? Those letters are acting as shortcuts. For instance, if I want to access draw, I want to access this pen now, I will put JI. Let's say I want to access this pen, I type P now, it automatically access the page layout. From that page layout, if I want to access colors, I type TC. You can see TC here. Okay, I type TC. It brings out the color palette. Can you see that? Okay, and then I can choose whatever I want. Let me escape from that. Let's go to where it's even simpler. I continue to press escape, or let's go for home tab. So if I press Alt key on home tab, you can see it's highlighted. If I want to come to Acrobat, I will type Y3. If I want to come to review, I will type X. If I want to enter the home tab functions, I will press from home, I press H. Can you see? From H, it now highlights everything on the home tab. Can you see now? So for instance, if I want to now have access to, I want to use color. Let's say we want to have access to fill color. So fill color, this is fill color, right? Is now H. Remember, I enter after home, Alt, I press Alt, it gives me home page, I else H. Now, if I want to access font color, I will press FC. If I want to access font color, I will press H again. That will be Alt H H to access font color, and then we'll select one. And then if it's going to be font, fill color, to access font color, it will be Alt HFC. So if I press FC now, let's put it on this place and say Alt HFC. What does it mean? Can you see? It brings me the font color, and then I can choose the font I want, and voila, you see that is colored that way. Let me undo. For instance, again, if I say Alt H, I want to put border, right? What do I do? Border, this is border, right? I put B, it brings the border options. And if I choose A, for instance, this is complete border. I say A, what do I have? It gives me that border. Can you see a border around it? Black. Okay, let's try it again. Alt H B. Let me pick a bold one so that you can see. Let's play this one T. You can see. Okay. Now let me move away from it. You can see the border. Can see. Can you see that? Okay. Thick black border. You see that? So that is how you can navigate through the ribbon. If you don't know the command, you know the command, but you don't know where to access. For instance, you want to view something. You know that whatever you want to, you want it to show yourself, your sheet to show in a certain way. Definitely know that you are going to view. So if I press Alt View here, how do I get to view according to this place? It's W. I press W, it gives me, see, it has highlighted view. And then if I want to remove grid line, for instance, from this VG, if I press VG, okay, formula bar, for instance, this is formula bar. I want to hide the formula. See, I want to untick the formula bar. He said I can use VF. So let's press VF. See, can you see the formula bar has disappeared? Can you see now? Let's go back. Let's say Alt W. Now, to tick the formula back again, is either I click on it or I press VF and the formula back is back. So this is how to navigate Excel with the Alt function. Now let's move to the formula bar and how to write formula in Excel. So when you click into a cell and you want to activate formula, you want to type in formula, not text or not number as we are saying. You want to type in formula, you press the equal to button. The equal to button will give you access to be able to bring up formulas. Okay, so for instance, if I want the sum formula, if I type SW, you can see now it brings out options of formulas that has to do with SW: sum, sum product, substitute. You see, so for instance, I want to have access to the sum function, which is the addition function. So I'll just, as I press that now, I can press my tab key. Okay, that gives me the first option. All right, let's do it again. Equals to sum. So it gives me sum, right? For instance, if I just say sum and I don't know what to do, I can just press down the arrow key and then get to, if I get to sum now, let's say sum if, so that you can be sure. Sum if now, I press my tab key, it gives me sum if. And then whatever I want to sum, I will highlight them, right? Okay, let's quickly do this. For instance, let's say this is, let's type these numbers. Sorry. And just anything at random. Okay, and let me quickly format to this point, for instance, and then okay. So let's say I want to sum these numbers, these three numbers. So I could come here and say equals to, that same equals to, I could also place my cursor here where I want the result to be and come to this formula bar and say equals to. You see, the same equals to as activated here. And then I press sum. See, you can see scan S, just for pressing S. Sum, you see, it has brought it again. Then I can use my down arrow key to go down. So I am on 3, which is sum. I then press the tab key to access that sum function. You can see now it's sum. What do I want to sum? I now click this range from this point to this point. That's what I want to sum. Then I'll close the bracket and press enter. and then I have the sum. This is the sum of these three numbers, right? You can take your calculator or anything and try it. So that is how to activate function in Excel. But the most common functions in Excel, we'll still come back to functions. I'm just telling you how to input data. The most common functions are the sum function, which can get as ought equals to also activate the sum function for you. For instance, I did this and press ought equals to, you can see it activates the sum function and automatically select the range of cells in place and give me the same result. This you can also access when you come to the home page and then you come to this. See this sigma sign. You know, some of us who did statistics or mathematics, when you see sigma sign, you know it means sum or something that has to do with averages. So you have sum, you have average, you have count, maximum. So if I want to count this number of these numbers, I can count them. If I want to find the average, I can find the average. And Excel will always give you a shortcut to that. It will read the shortcut to you. So for instance, that is count. Okay, I press enter. It counts. There are four data: one, two, three, four. Can you see that? But what I much particular is, let's go here, delete this one. I want us to use that option. Sorry. So I want, it's supposed to give me, yeah, that's what I want to say. So when I place my cursor on this, you see, it gives me these tips. This is also very useful in Excel. So anytime you don't know what a function or a command is, just don't click, just place your arrow on it like this. It will give you a tip that will tell you what that does. And if it has a shortcut, it will tell you that shortcut. So for instance, this is a function sum. The shortcut to it is ought equals to, ought plus equals to, which is what I did the other time. If I want average, it should be able to give me the same thing, but it's not giving me here. I think the one, it depends on the way the Excel is customized. So, and I can access more functions here, right? You can see sum, X lookup, average, and all of that. So, and then of course, if you come to formula here too, you can access the sum function. You can formula here. From here, we have different categories of formula: text formula, logic formula, financial functions. The sum function you can see again here. All right. So now, some of us that did further maths, this is what we call f of x. This f of x is also to insert a function. I could also come here and double click on this, so it gives me the dialog box. If I don't know the name of the function, but I know what it does, I can give it a description and I'll say go, and it will bring out most possible options of what I need to use, which function I need to use, right? So when we get to function, we'll talk more about function and function structure and argument. Now, to close this session, I need to introduce you to how to move around in Excel with your cursor. This is very important to make you efficient. On your laptop or desktop, you know the arrow keys: the up arrow key, the down arrow key, the left arrow key, and the end or the right arrow key. You see, so just a logical thing. As you are moving, you're pressing your arrow key up, you move up the cell. Press it down, you move down the cell. Press it left, you move left, right. Press this left, you move left, right. Okay, when you enter a data, look at me here. When you enter a data, for instance, if you enter this data, you press enter, the cursor will move down to the next cell, right? You can have options that if you if you type a data in the place and you don't want you want to move to the left, or you want it to remain, the cursor to remain in the same position. Instead of pressing enter, you press control enter. it's activating something else. Don't mind it because it's a software there. But normally it would just put you control enter. Okay, let me type it and hope it will work. When I say control enter, control enter because there's a software that's using that command here. That's why it's confusing it. But ordinarily, what I'm trying to say, when you press control enter, the cursor will not move down like what we have here. It will stay in that same cell. Maybe you still want to do something in that cell. That's one. If you type something, for instance, and you want the cursor to move left, for instance, of course, you just do your tab key and it will move to the left, right? If you type something there, you want your cursor to move to the left, which is here. So what you do is click Shift Tab key, so you can see it moves to the left. So that's number one. Those are little shortcuts you must know how to navigate. Then another thing is that if you want to move from one end of a data to another, for instance, this is 478, 233, 455, and all of that, and all that. So if I want to move to the next one, I press the arrow key, right? So if I press Control arrow key, it moves to the last point. Can you see? Control arrow key to the left, it moves back to the left point. All right. If I come here, I want to move down. If I'm here and I want to move to 3755 down, control down arrow key. You see, it goes exactly there. Control up arrow key, it comes exactly back. Can you see that? Then, if these are possible because there is no break in this data. You see, there along these cells, there is no break, there is no empty cell there, right? That's why they can move from one end directly to another end. The same thing here. But if, for instance, things are broken here, for as I have here, I am here and I want to select something here. I want to select everything here or move from this place to this place. The Excel will not move. If I press my arrow, control arrow down now, it will all jump to the next available place where there is text. If there are no text along, it will not stop there. It will jump to the next available place where there is text. If I press control down arrow key again, it moves to this point. And I press control up arrow key, it will not move to 684. It will move back to 678, and then control arrow key again, it moves on to this. Now you use the control key plus the arrow keys to move, whereas you use the shift key and the arrow key to select. So most of the time when you want to navigate in Excel, you are both moving and selecting at the same time. So if you need to move and select cells or range of cells at the time, you will use the control shift plus the arrow key. So if I want to select and move from 478 here to 684 here, for instance, I'll just say shift, control shift, and then arrow, right arrow key. You can see it selects everything immediately. And whatever I want to do with it, let's say I want to make it bigger, you can see. All right. Let's say I want to put a border, I do it because it's selected. If I remove it now, you see what has happened, right? Let me undo that so that we can go back. So the same thing goes down. If I want to select down, so the beauty of this is that if I want to select, I control shift down, you can select everything down. For instance, if I want to add this together and I've selected down, I can press the Alt equals to key, for instance. It will give me an option, it adds the sum. Can you see now? Voila, as simple as that. The beauty of that is that by the time you start dealing with large data, remember, I have not told you before. Now, if you come out from this A1, let's go to the last row in Excel. This is 1,048,576. Excel has 1,048,576 rows. So supposing you have a data that goes, it may not go up to this, maybe on the column alone, you want to select something, maybe from this point to as long as 1,000 something, all right? And you have to start doing it one by one like this, you won't get anywhere, right? But when you use Shift plus Control and arrow key, gives you down to where the data lasts, and then you can do what you want to do with it. Okay. Now, when you look at the rows, how many rows do we have in Excel? So you see, it goes after A, B, C, D to now. It goes like that. So Excel is a very big data machine, and so you have to be able to navigate very well so that it's easy for you to get to the data you want to get to and do whatever calculation or manipulation you want to do with it. So this is the basics of navigating through Excel as you come to start using Excel. Let me just add this in 2 minutes so that we can close this session. Now, when you have your sheet, like I said, for instance, I want this sheet, I click it, right? There are things you can also do with your sheet. Apart from naming, if you want to name a sheet, just double click on it. Let's say this is sheet A, B, C. Okay, name this CRT, whatever, right? Oh, sorry. I double click on it. Okay. I can delete this and name it whatever I want. Okay. I press enter. Now, this, if you right click on a sheet, it will give you options of what you can do with that sheet. You can delete it. You can insert another sheet before it. You can rename it. You can move it to another workbook entirely. And so more, you can hide it. For instance, if I hide it now, you will not see it, but it's there. I have to do it again and do on hide. Then you will see, you see, this is what is written in here. I click OK, it unhides it back. So you can hide the sheet. Maybe there is a sheet you don't want people to see, you can hide it. You can also protect it, but that's another topic entirely. So when you right click, you have options of what you do. Then you can also come to this place. Because by the time you start having more sheets, you have an option here to come to this place. This place will list the number of sheets that on this Excel. This will be very useful for you. Supposing I have up to 20 sheets, 30 sheets that I'm working on in this workbook alone, right? And I want to get to sheet 25. So if I have to start coming from this place, I say go there, go there, go here, and going like that. Before I go to 35, and I'm coming back to one again, it will be very cumbersome, time wasting, inefficient, and prone to error. So one of the other things you can do when you want to move to a sheet and you don't know where that sheet is, just come to this place where you have this greater than and equal to bracket thing, and right click in between. When you see, it will list the sheets that are on this uh, workbook, and then you can go directly. Supposing I want to go to DERF now, I come, I select that and say that it moves there. Can you see? But for the meantime, another thing you can do is that you can move manually. You can press down your mouse on this and drag. Can you see? It looks like a book. You are moving a book. And let's say I want to paste this here. When it gets to that place, you see this between this line, it will drop. If you drop it, it will move there. If I move it, I want to move it forward. Look at that arrow that is moving, right? So, and there is a line here. So it moves between ADC and RC. So I drop it there, you have it. Another shortcut to creating more tab sheet is that you can control, you know the other one, I just click and hold down my button, I hold down my mouse and then drag. That's what I've been doing, right? Okay. Now, that's what I've been doing, right? The other way, if I want to create a new sheet, okay, from a particular sheet, I will press Control and then hold down my mouse, okay, and drag. In this case, it will copy. Can you see? It copy ATS as ATS2. So then I can name it whatever I want to rename it, right? I think that's another tips I need to give you. So I believe this is enough introduction for what Excel is and navigating through Excel interface. In the next video, we are going to be moving into proper data entry. I've made a bit introduction to data entry here. I've read formatting in details and using the autofill function and some other things. That will be the next video after this video. So if you like this video, kindly subscribe to my channel, click the notification button so that anytime I release video like this, you always notify, and click share and subscribe. Thank you, and see you in the next video.